Hi everyone. Thank you so much for all the support and for listening to Wen's adventures. I've had such a good time making them.
Okay, go away. Now it's time for Star Atlas Townhall updates, ladies and gentlemen. This is MetaVerse Explorer. This is the Townhall update recap brought to you by Aephian, brought to you by MetaVerse Explorer. Thank you to my girlfriend, by the way. She's good looking. All right, let's get to this Townhall update. We had a few guests come on. We had Brad, who is the gameplay engineer. He's the guy that we saw in the flight showroom module, right? He was the guy in the flight demo, the video we saw recently with the HOTAS. You know, he had a little control here and there, and he was flying the ship around. And we actually have new video gameplay of this at the moment. And then on top of that, we also had Chris, who is the director of the game economy. His focus is mainly on Scream. Now, Davey B came on because he had a small video contest, and congratulations to Morpheus. He had a great little video for that contest that he won it. So I just want to say congratulations to him, man. Now, there was some news that was supposed to come out during this town hall, which was the next 4-6 live, right? We do have another 4-6 live. It was supposed to come, but unfortunately, Michael said that it was coming, but there was a complication on this same town hall day. Hey, Pepe, thank you guys very much. Just good reminder. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing, guys. This is MetaVerse Explorer, bringing you the best updated info in Star Atlas. Now, there was a complication with the town hall, but so they decided complication with the announcement of the next 4-6 because they wanted to announce something in there, but they decided to postpone it. So maybe we'll get it by next town hall, the next 4-6 stuff. But we know what's going to be in the town hall anyway, because we know there is a unique distribution technique because there's a new partnership they want to announce and that they're waiting for this to actually happen. And then they'll be able to announce it, right? This is the big companies. They always wait for stuff. You know, this is how it usually goes, not to worry. So we know what's actually going to be in the 4-6 live, at least the stuff that we know of so far, which is the presentation on sustainable governance by Dan Park. Of course, this is going to be to do with the Polis DAO. And then on top of that, we know the Atlas Locker rollout. So the Atlas Roller Lockout, that means Atlas staking is coming, which probably means the Atlas fee markets are coming, okay? The Atlas fee markets are coming. Now, there's been a lot of discussion in the Foundation Room chat because people were worried that, you know, one, yes, you can just create a serum market and you can bypass the entire thing, but then you're not really supporting the game, are you? And then people are saying, no, this is crazy. This is like way too high. Why should we do this? And there's a lot of arguments back and forth, but at the end of the day, you know, if you want to play the game, play the game, okay? This is how the creators are making the game. If you don't like the game, don't play the game. What else can I say? We know there's also going to be a presentation on the Foundation Kit, which is really the SDK. Now, SDK actually stands for the Software Development Kit. It's a thing that other developers can use to develop stuff in the game, or like using this this piece of software, right? Basically, they say it allows you to stay in the showroom when you perform Solana transactions, which is so powerful. For you not to leave the actual showroom, for you not to leave the game, for you to sign a transaction. Now that is awesome. That means anything in Solana that you have to sign a transaction for can be put into the game, okay? That's so powerful. Let's move on. I'm going to try... We'll get to the good stuff. I love Arnie. We've got some really good stuff to show you here, right? I don't want to waste too much of your time. We're already 3 minutes in. Let's get to it, right? We saw this little screen grab. This is the Scream gameplay. This is like your hangar module where you can see here, there's lots of different ships you can already load up. And I'm hoping that these are already actually live. Like you can click on them. We can see some of the new ships that we've seen. This is the Calico Hero. We have the Thimble Mamba, and then we have the Thimble Lobby. Now, look at the size differences between the ships, right? And then look at is that a Grenadier? Way over here. I think that's a Grenadier, that side. Definitely a Grenadier. Look at the size differences, right? Now, I had a previous thought that the ships themselves would come up to the same size of the tile, but in this case, they're not actually doing that, right? The Thimble Lobby is way smaller. This I'm worried about because if you can't actually zoom in onto the Thimble Lobby, you won't see much detail. You won't see any of the detail they'll put into it. Okay, whereas of course on the Grenadier you can see the giant the details they're putting in. Like the Calico Hero, I really want to see that thing up close. The Mamba up close is awesome, and we have a video of you actually seeing the Mamba up close. And of course, this doesn't do it justice. The video does it justice because then you'll be able to see. This is the Visa's Ballad, which a lot of people were able to get. This is a giant ship, by the way, and it just looks awesome. So I thought I'd show it to you guys because they gave it to us as well. Something that for us to see. That's awesome. Look at it. Look at it. The quality isn't as great, but it's a small video that I was able to get. Look at it. Now remember, this is not UE5 stuff, right? This is only for the Scream gameplay, which is in your browser. It's WebGL. It's pretty good detail for like something that's not supposed to be the main game. But I'm also happy with it. I'm happy with the content, with the quality of it. Now, my main concern is that we won't be able to see all of this detail up front. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to even customize any of these details. So that's that. Let's have a look at the next video, which is the Thimble Mamba. Now, this is the one that Michael actually said he liked a lot. Look at it. It looks fucking badass, doesn't it? It looks really good. Now, we saw the previous 2 images, right? We didn't see this amount of detail on the tile in the Scream hangar. This, we can really see a lot of detail on this, right? Look at that. You can see all the little decals, you can see the reflections, you can see like the difference in the shading of the colors, the subtle differences, and look at even the wiring and the mechanics, all of that. It's awesome. That's good. That's good, man. That's really good. I'm very happy with that. Just look at the detail. It's even for a non-UE5 game, just WebGL. This is one of the higher end kind of effort people put into games. Super happy with that. Now let's go on to what we actually know to be one of the Oyster, not a star base, but like their home field. This is like where you're going to be spawning from. This isn't a star base, they called it. It's I forgot what the name of it is. A home base. This is where you'll spawn. I don't think specifically this is like the home of the Oyster faction. I don't know if this is going to be the main station, the Oyster station where everyone comes to, like the main hub. It is possible. Michael said all of this is like work in progress, right? All of this is work in progress. They're going to change a lot more of it later on, but it's good to see what it's going to look like at the moment. Make sure you like and subscribe. Pepe needs your likes to survive. Look at this. Awesome. Now, we've seen the Oyster one now. We're waiting for the Mud home base and then the Oni home base. Now, we're going to see what the differences are. This looks very metallic, very robot, very kind of futuristic. Mud is probably going to look more human, earth-centered, maybe something like a symbol of the UN or something like that, right? And then the Oni should be something very flowy or very alien-y, very, very obscure, something like that. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Now, that's enough. We'll look at some other stuff later on. Let's talk about Chris. Chris was one of the guests on the town hall. He has he's an economics PhD guy, right? So all he does is numbers and economics and dry stuff. Obviously not to him, but to some people in the world, it's not that enticing. But this is their job; they love it. So previously he worked on play-to-earn games, economic models before. We know this already. He's also wrote some research papers on EVE Online. I don't know if you guys know EVE. EVE's economy is one of probably the most robust like MMO gameplay economy developed to date, and probably what I hope the Star Atlas is able to surpass. Because if we surpass that, man, that is like a great economy already bustling. Now he said he had a choice he gave himself. Like, could you work in a boring Web 2 company or help build out a new like Web 3 company and build out the future? So that's where he's coming from. He loves fully player-driven markets within virtual worlds, and also loves having researched these a long time ago. He's super happy to be part of the Star Atlas team and super happy to be able to shape the Star Atlas economy. So he came across as a nice guy, and I'm very glad like we have him on board. PhD in economics is what we actually need. Good gameplay economies in games in Web3. All of them are shit, being honest. All of them are shit. Like you said, people don't understand tokenomics, inflation, supply versus demand, which is like basics of market economics. And he seems to understand. He's got a PhD. I don't. So I'm hoping he's able to really benefit us by giving us a great Star Atlas metaverse economy. What else did he talk about? he said he's the director of the game economy. This is his official role there, at Star Atlas. He focuses on the macroeconomics, which is Scream, but Scream in particular, but he does a bit more than that as well. Because remember, Star Atlas is not just Scream, it's the UE5 gameplay as well. We don't really have any economic data for the gameplay for UE5 because that's way, way, way further down the line. So far, he just has to focus on Scream. Now, his second focus is making sure that the economy is completely owned by the players, which kind of a little bit concerning because players are whales, and sometimes whales take advantage, especially in a place where you can't really reverse transactions. So there's a need to understand that their players' behavior so that they can adjust and tweak the economy to better serve the community. Scream economy will be the foundation of the Star Atlas economy. So he's saying Scream economy is where it all really starts, which is why he has a great focus on this. Score was the first iteration, which is, you stake your ships, you get Atlas, which is technically just inflation of the circulating supply. And Scream is the next step of this. So hopefully, he wasn't around where Score first got introduced. So now he's probably handicapped, right? He's got an already kind of, not a disadvantage, but he's already got an inflating token supply. Now his job is to try and either stem that inflating token supply or either get it all out there to whoever it needs to go to, right? Or rejig the economics of it to make sure that it's really like player owned. I think he has a really, really tough job in his circumstance, and was given if he started it himself, he would have been in a much better position than he is now, because now he's having to deal with all the economic implications of what the team did without him being there. You know what I mean? He defined 24 levers so far. Now, what are actually these levers? So what he's saying is that in the game economy, right, there's different levers and things you can pull, different buttons you can push to try and change the output of what you're doing, or to try and adjust the economics within the game. Okay, let's take a small example: the federal funds rate at the moment, or like the interest rates provided by the US economy. They just came out. He said they're going to be a bit more forceful on it, and you saw stock market tanked. Okay, crypto crashed 10%, BTC down 10%, ETH 15%, Solana 20%. It's crazy, right? So this is a tool that the Fed uses. They say we're going to raise interest rates, and all of a sudden money gets a lot harder to borrow. When money gets harder to borrow, people need to take off some risk. Be like, no, I'm just going to sell some of this Bitcoin, sell some of this stock, because now I can't pay back all my interest. This is one tool that the Federal Reserve has. The same thing that Chris is saying here in Star Atlas, he has 24 levers. So one of them might be how much a range of Atlas is giving out for this quest, how much minerals you can mine from this ore. But he said it's not just numbers, right? He said it's how fun the game is to play. So it's actually really, I want to know more about what his choice of words was there, but I'm going to keep reading here. He said he expects close to 50 levers. We have 24, so he's only about halfway to the amount of levers he wants to pull, or the number of buttons he wants to push. These are numbers that impact the economy and allows them to change more than one thing at a time to keep the economy stable. So he's not just going to push a button to say, if you mine this ore, you used to get 50 ore, now you get 20 ore. No, it's not like that. It's possible like he's going to, within this sector, ores give a 10 to 20% range of production. We're now going to change this to 5% production of the ore. And so all of a sudden you're going from 50 ore to 10 ore or 5 ore or something, right? And that just doesn't change for one ore. It's like the entire sector or the entire game economy, right? So it changes multiple different things with one button. This lever can be incorrect value for the gameplay, but it can't be incorrect for the economy itself. They're not about changing how much it costs to do something. They want to change how fun it is to do something. So they want to say, if something gets way more fun to do, then you're not going to be earning as much. This is my interpretation from it. But if something is not very fun to do, then you might be earning a lot from it, which kind of gives you the balance, right? Because everyone is going to be doing the same thing that's fun, and that's going to create massive inflation. If you go and do something that no one else wants to do because it's not fun, you might be earning a lot more because, hey, it's not fun to do. You're actually putting in work and it's a hassle to do this, okay? You're going to earn more. This is what my understanding of it at the moment is. Now, I know you guys watched this video yourself. Please correct me if you think I'm wrong on this. let's move on. We've got some extra pictures for you for the WebGL. Now, this is a tier 1 base, okay? Now, keep in mind, remember, look at this, look at this. Armstrong. It's the Armstrong people, the Armstrong company that's producing these tier 1 bases. Don't know if Armstrong's Mud, Oni, or Oyster. Just seems like kind of like a neutral faction. They're doing the miners, like and the floor vehicles. So this is a tier 1 base, right? Let's have a look at what a tier 4 base looks like. It's a giant improvement, right? Giant improvement. And once again, I'm going to zoom in on the middle here. It's an Armstrong base, you can see here, which is pretty awesome, right? So Armstrong are probably responsible for a lot of the base infrastructures. What else did we actually see? Now, this really caught my eye, guys. I might have to make a whole new video on this, but I'm going to quickly go through it, right? This is, and I confirm this is only a concept art. I'm very upset that it's only concept art and this is not even what it looks like, because they gave us this same picture. This is it. This is what we saw before, right? Look at where the ship placements are, and even look at this thing. It's blurred out. This is the previous picture. This is the new picture we got, and it's the same thing. All the ships are in the same spot. Even this is now not blurred out, and they say, oh, they made a mistake not blurring it out. What I really am interested in is the improvement on this. One, you can see that this is now looks like a old school cartographer map. We have actual addition of locations. So I'm going to move here, like here. And also down there, you can't see it at the moment, but look at around the rim. You can see where you are. It literally says AF-20 Oyster region. So we know this is now the Oyster region, but this is just concept map either way. What I'm really interested in is in the top left and the top right. Here we go. In the top left, we now have like your HUD, right? You have your player profile, how much experience you have, how much LP, loyalty points you have, and how much Atlas this guy has. This guy has 120,000 Atlas. It might be dev wallet, doesn't matter. Then you have some little signs at the top as well, which I think is the badge and also your class, like your faction. So that guy's a Oni faction, right? And he's a level 9. Don't know how much experience is required for you to level up and to level up. We don't know what the level up actually entails. Do you get more character points, more things you can invest somewhere? Hopefully, right? So that's the character screen, and then we've also got the little kind of how should I say it? Wheel to try and tiles to try and click on to go to managing your ship, stopping your ship. Your cargo bay, and also the current ship you are selected. And of course, you get the health bar and the shield bar. This is the first time we're seeing the shield bar, okay? First time we're seeing the shield bar. And also at the bottom right, you can see the fuel, the food, and the ammo and the resources there, which is pretty awesome. So this is concept, guys. Remember, concept. They're still working on all of this. Okay, this is just the first thing. Now, this is something I really had a look at. And I was really... I wanted to find out more about this, because look at this. This is just mock-up, so all of this might be totally incorrect. Look at the top there. So they're saying a Calico Medtech has 5.5k HP. No problem, let's go with that. Calico Medtech has 5.5k HP. And then you can see at the top arrow, the top red arrow, is a level 1 tier 1 starbase, which has 60,000 HP. So are they saying that if you have 12 Calico Medtechs, you might be able to take out a tier 1 starbase, because they have around the same HP. You know, 12 Calico Medtechs give you 60,000 HP points. Is that possible? I know a Calico Medtech isn't really a fighter ship. It might not have the firepower to take down that HP, because that HP probably regenerates itself. It's probably got its own drones. But if you can substitute a Calico Medtech with another ship of like the same size with a much higher HP, because the Calico Medtech is really a support ship. It's not a DPS ship. It's not a tank ship, right? A DPS ship is like the Agrica Tursic or the ATS Enforcer. And then you have a tank ship, which is like the Fimble Mamba or like the Fimble Eop, the Bios Eop. That's a tank ship. A tank heavy ship, I think. So what do you actually think about this? So I thought this is all still concept, but it is possible, right? We have a small indication of kind of the levels required to take a tier 1 ship. If a tier 1 ship is 60,000 HP, a tier 2 ship might be 600,000 HP, right? Times 10, times 5, times 2 is too small, to be honest. It should be an exponential curve going all the way up. Pepe, thank you very much for subscribing, guys. Yeah. I don't know if these are still the same values that we should expect. A Calico Medtech having 5k HP. Compare a Calico Medtech being a support ship, like barely any guns, and compare that to a fighter that or like an Oster ship, which has hull reinforcements, or like an Ohm, like or a ship, any ship of the same size. What kind of HP do you think that is? That's some good theory crafting right there, and hopefully we can get some more examples of this. But remember, all of this is just concept, so I'm just thinking out loud here. Next up, we have a small gun that we saw some concept art for. Now, this was actually made by someone, a concept artist already, and I was very curious because you can see on the bottom right-hand side corner of this who that artist was. So I went ahead and I looked at the guy on ArtStation, and yes, he has done some other artwork for Star Atlas. It says, yeah, Gan, freelance concept artist, Star Atlas, and lives in Mongolia. So he's responsible for the Busan Last Stand, Busan Last Stand, and also the little intro for the Star Atlas and the robot. The robot is here. So that's the robot. And of course, he's done a little gun, which is just behind me here. That's pretty good. Nice to meet you, Gan. I want to see more from you. There was another ship he did here that's not labeled Star Atlas, so we'll see if it comes up. Next up, let's talk about Brad. Brad is the flyabout guy. He's the guy with the little thing as I was talking about before. Previous gaming experience was Elite Dangerous 2009. He started mouse and keyboard. He didn't like it. He moved to the HOTAS, which is the steering joystick. And then he added VR, and he says, really, it's the shit. Brand is not really into crypto. He's all about the fun gameplay. So guys, Brad, nice to meet you. I know crypto can be super daunting sometimes. It is sometimes good to understand, to get your head around where the next financial ecosystem might be coming from, right? But at the same time, you might get burnt. This is a rite of passage anyway. So everyone, be nice to Brad. He's helping us with his flyabout. So he's helping Star Atlas, so he's a friend to us, right? Gameplay engineer, focuses on prototyping. He makes the prototypes and shares them with the team. The team says, yeah, run with this, don't run with this, do whatever. And he says he's just messing around, which I don't know, I didn't really like, because, you know, you're supposed to be there to make a mission. Either you make the thing great and stop messing around, or, you know, don't work there. I don't know. He's actually responsible for the mounting animation for the PSX4, also working on the racing module. So we've got pictures of both of these. Let's actually have a look. This is the mounting animation. You tell me what you think. Now. Awesome, right? Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a bit stiff, but this can be improved on, right? It's just the first thing. It is a bit stiff. What I really wanted to bring to you guys is listen to it. I'm going to be very quiet. We'll play it again. Listen to the sounds you're able to hear, right? Let's listen. Did you hear that? Like the powering down of the PSX4? That is awesome. That sound was very good. Santi did want to reiterate that this is not going to be in the first module gameplay that we see. Okay, this is way down the line. So they're working on this later on. What I'm really interested now is Brad playing the fly-through module, which has now been improved with like... so previously you were just flying around. Now it's actually going to be improved with little robots that shoot back at you. Then you can shoot back at them. So you can either choose to go running through the circuit really, really quickly, and every time they hit you, you lose speed. It's up to you if you want to finish that quick, or you can actually improve on your flying skills and kill these robots before they shoot at you. And then either way, you can complete it in time. What I'm interested in is the landscape, right? Look at the landscape all around. You'll see lots of different little things in here, like that little wall on the right. I initially thought that was like the boundary of the actual map, but I saw him going past it one time. This sometimes gets... You see that boundary? That boundary, that's what I'm talking about. And even on the left here. See that boundary? And it goes past the boundary, comes back into it. Now, this is pretty good in itself. now I can see why they said when you got into the X4 and started flying around, there wasn't enough map loaded for you to see. And that's what they did. They extended the map so that you can see all of this. Now you can see here that you can see all the mountains in the back. I'm sure previously you weren't able to see that. Now, we'll do another video on this later. I just want to keep going because we're at 25 minutes already. There was a last minute question, which was, to what degree of oversight and influence does the economic team plan on having when balancing gameplay when compared to inputs from the Polis DAO? Now remember, we have two opposing forces here. It doesn't have to be opposing, but they're two forces, separate forces, right? You have the Star Atlas DAO, who is supposed to have a large say in the gameplay, in the development of the game, and then you have the economic team who wants to make sure that the game is balanced. Okay, who actually takes precedent? Thank you for subscribing. Love you very much. Who takes precedent? Who has a higher say, right? Because the economics team is supposed to give you a good game, but of course, if the DAO votes for something else, that's conflicting. What are you going to do? Michael gave us an answer. He said the dream, of course, is to have a well-oiled machine. It was Michael and the economics guy. He said it's to have a well-oiled machine. They want to touch as less as possible. Once the economy is going, that's also not so easy. You to touch as less as possible. Everything is going to be really, really sensitive when everything starts up, when the economy starts spurring on. The goal is to transfer ownership of the SA of Star Atlas to the DAO, so stakeholders would have the authority to make dramatic changes to the economy. But what this just means is that the whales have the highest say, which is right? Whales are supposed to have the highest say. We live in a capitalist world, okay? If you had a huge amount of money and decided to buy Star Atlas ships and buy lots of Polis or accumulate it over a long period of time, you should have the highest say. There's no way around that. Why, if someone has a giant stake in a company and they would have no say, why the hell would they have a giant stake in the company? Right? That makes no sense. So to me, this just means like, yeah, sure, the whales are going to control everything just like normal. A huge amount of Polis is actually owned by Oni at the moment. And I know the Rome Guild is probably half responsible for that, you guys. Ideally, they're entering into a state where the economy is working so well that it requires very little interaction. It's possible that people want to see changes over time. And hopefully the economic team is going to allow these changes over time. This is the constant conflict we're going to see between actually DAO voting and the company of the game, the company making the actual game and making decisions. Who actually has power? Most of the time, stuff the DAO. The game actually has power, okay? The people making the game has power. DAOs are in its infancy. Usually they can't get shit done. I know because I've been in multiple DAOs. Lastly, they're going to be creating a consensus is important, they're trying to say. Changes should be to the benefit of the majority and not the minority who have a large stake. But once again, this is capitalism. Everyone who has people or the minority who have a large stake have the highest say. Look at the world right now. This is what reality is, okay? I'm not going to joke around about that because, yes, rich people control the world. Top 5 companies, the FANG stocks, control half of social media. You can't get around this. Now, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to end it here. It's nearly 30 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want you to tell me, in all of this stuff, which has been your favorite piece of new news for Star Atlas. I take a while to make these videos, so I hope you enjoy them. I hope you leave a comment, and I hope you enjoyed my girlfriend's voice acting of Wen's adventures. She's very proud of it, and I'm super happy to have her around. All right, this has been MetaVerse Explorer with your Townhall recap. I don't know which Townhall, actually. Thank you very much for staying around. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Ciao for now.